Another what I ate today video. So I finally was successful with intermittent fasting. So after my 22-hour fast, and to get into intermittent fasting, I've been trying for like, I feel like 6 weeks now. Just kind of unsuccessfully, but I haven't been trying very hard. But I had a stressful week last week, and I am a stress not eater. And so I didn't eat, I just wasn't hungry just from stress. And so I just kind of used that to my advantage and did a 22-hour fast. My goal was 20, and so I made it past that. And then I broke my fast with beef stock. And so this beef stock, it's super thick. And you know what it is? It's from when I cook my steaks in the Instant Pot, which you guys have informed me is gross because it doesn't look appetizing, which I know. But it tastes really good. And it's a great way to use some of those tougher cuts of meat because it breaks up or it makes the connective tissue really soft. And that connective tissue is really good for you too. So what is gristle and you might have been throwing away, in the Instant Pot, you don't throw it away. You eat it because it's like butter. It just like melts it. But anyways, so every time I do that, I have like a cup or a cup and a half of drippings, and I just add it to this mason jar that I keep in the fridge, and that's my beef stock. And so I stirred some salt in it. I am using lemon sometimes, and so I stirred some lemon in it also. And that was what I broke my fast with. While that was cooking, I cooked some elk sausage, probably about 1/3 of a pound of elk sausage, just breakfast sausage in the air fryer. So I just make a patty. I preheat the air fryer to like 400, and I cook it for 4 or 5 minutes until it's cooked through. And while that was cooking, I made some eggs with runny yolks, and I find that that's the key to keeping dairy out. And I say keep dairy out, and you guys have called me out on this, and I still use butter. But I find that actually when I cut out dairy, I didn't notice it until I went back, but I get like bags under my eyes, and I thought it was just from having 3 kids. And so I'm wearing a lot less makeup right now because it's getting to be warmer, and I wear less makeup when it's warm than I usually do. And so like I do kind of have some circles, and maybe if I got rid of dairy, that would get rid of it completely. But it gets like puffy underneath, which is what I noticed when I had dairy after keeping it out for like a week, is when I introduced it back in, is I got those puffy circles that just make me look tired and honestly old. And so vanity is keeping dairy out of my diet right now. So I find that when I have those runny yolks like on that sausage, I don't really crave dairy at all. So it's really just kind of the sauce that I really like. And then for dinner, this is how I make dinner. And so I'm cooking for 5 people, and 3 of them are growing children, and then there's my mighty hunter and me. And so my boys all eat grains. I try to limit their grains, and I try to include obviously a lot of protein because I think that's good for them. I do still include vegetables, and I still make my kids eat vegetables. I'm just not sold on carnivore diet as being, I know it's fantastic for me and I love it, but I still make my kids eat their vegetables. Could be right, could be wrong, don't know. But so for my daughter, so I just do like, I browned up some elk and I put some garlic in it. I am keeping garlic in. I'm trying to avoid nightshades, but I'm keeping some seasonings in right now. So I just added salt and garlic and browned that up for all of us. Then I just took mine out in a bowl, and I added in frozen broccoli, cream cheese, and shredded cheddar for everybody. And then while that was going, I cooked some white rice, just jasmine rice. I like to get the unenriched, and so I do try to avoid enriched products because I don't like the synthetic vitamins. So we take a good, you can look at my other videos, I've got a bunch about vitamins, but I don't like grains that have been fortified. So I cook some jasmine rice in the Instant Pot, which is super simple, and you can do it on the stovetop too. It's just fine, but I just happened to do it in the Instant Pot today. And then I put rice in the bottom of my bowl, the bowls for my boys, and my daughter, who's on keto for cognitive stuff, she just got the cheese and the broccoli and the elk, and then I just got the elk. And so that's just kind of how you can build a meal. And I like cooking for my family. It's not something I mind at all. I find it relaxing. And so but I think I would get really frustrated cooking like 5 different meals for 5 different people. So I just try to find something that I can eat my stuff and she can eat her stuff. And then I add usually in a carb. If it's not a grain, then usually a fruit for the boys. When it's just me and the boys a lot during the summer, the little boys, then often we all end up in ketosis, which I think is good for their like metabolic flexibility. And so they've all been in keto, and they are, I guess it's fat adapted, where they can switch into ketosis and it doesn't bother them. But my Mighty Hunter, I feed him carbs because he's not used to being in ketosis and I don't want to mess his system up. So, so most of our meals do have carbs. So that's what I ate that day. And that's how I'm doing with the dairy and the intermittent fasting. And it's just, my goal with intermittent fasting isn't really weight loss. It's more just consolidation of dishes and getting down to like one big meal a day. More just convenience than anything else. I will see you guys back later. And you can check over to the side. I will put up some of these other quick, this is a longer one, but some of the other quick what I ate today videos. And I'd love to have you check them out. We'll talk later. Oh, bye.